What is up, everybody? Welcome to the RotoWire Soccer Podcast. My name's Ryan, joined again by Mo. It's great that the music played this time.
Music!
Yeah, I mean, just good vibes and good mojo right away to start the podcast. What's up, Mo? We got a 3-game slate for tomorrow. Inter Milan, biggest favorite, had a 2-goal lead, and now they're home to Feyenoord with a 2.28 total. Liverpool holding a 1-goal lead home to PSG. And then Bayern holding a 2-goal lead home to Leverkusen. I'd like to say it's an interesting slate. I don't know how I feel about it yet. What's up, Mo? How do you feel about this slate?
Yeah, I think interesting is a good word. None of these matches are, well, minus the Bayern one. None of the matches are really like done and dusted. We don't have that like Arsenal up 7-1 versus PSV on this slate. I even think that for at least a portion of the Leverkusen game, it's still going to be in contention. Usually a 3-0 lead is not safe in the Champions League, as Barcelona know all too well. And so I think they're interesting matches. I think there's a lot of opportunities to zig where everybody else might zag. I also think, that Liverpool second leg is going to be fascinating from a neutral point of view. And then I think also from a DFS point of view. So I think you're going to have a lot of interesting options here, a lot of good plays. And I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, sorry. Bayern are up 3-0. I said 2-0. Yeah, the first leg in PSG Liverpool was fascinating. I don't think anybody really expected PSG to dominate quite that much. It'll be interesting to see how this second leg goes. Let's see. We got the lineups up here. I've seen something about Lautaro training on the side, and maybe he's not going to start, so we'll keep an eye on that. Leverkusen lost Wirtz, it looks like.
You're right.
Need to confirm that, but that's not good. Already
Several
down 3
weeks.
goals.
Ligament injury to his ankle. Ouch.
That's not good. And they lost 2-0 over the weekend, I think, at home to Werder Bremen. So things aren't looking great for Leverkusen. Liverpool, PSG might get the same 2 teams that played last week. Very good chance of that, I think. Yeah, I think that's about it. I guess we can just jump right into forward here. I got to pull this slate up real quick. I see Salah, 11K. Big bust last time out from Salah for like maybe the first time in a long time. 2.3 points, now up to 11K. I can't really see anybody playing him here after that first leg. After how that first leg went, and with them up a goal. Then you have Dembele, 10,200. Felt a little bit dumb not playing him last week when he hopped on every single set piece and put up 23 floor. Yeah, 8 shots and 15 crosses, just wild. So he looks like a pretty good option.
Yep.
Expensive price away to Liverpool, but looks pretty good. Then you're going to have these Inter guys. And probably the best spot, softest matchup, highest total. What do you think about forward, Mo?
Yeah, so I think last slate I faded KK. And I was like the one. It turned out that I was in the significant minority to fade him, and it hurt. Or it may have been 2 slates ago. I can't remember which slate it was. Maybe last slate, maybe the slate.
It was last week. We both played Yamal.
Yeah. Either way, he's been on a streak of punishing the faders because his last 2 games have been 15 and 27. So, not great for the people who have been fading. And he's going to get a game here where, I expect PSG to be after it from the start. Liverpool, for what it's worth, shouldn't be, pushovers, given that it's just a 1-0 lead and they're at home, and this is probably what they were hoping for. But this PSG team is good. I mean, when they want to put the pedal to the metal, they're very good at it. And they're definitely going to want to do that here. So I think you're right that Dembele is going to have a massive floor. I think even if he ends up taking KK's set, KK will have a great floor. Adam's favorite, Barcola, is going to be also tempting. I forgot what his salary is here. 5'9". Oh my God. So that's going to be very tempting. And then I don't know if I'm going to be as tempted by the other side. I mean, last week we said, I don't think Diaz is forward eligible here, so it may be an easier decision. Oh yes, he's 4'6".
4,600, same price this time. This time he's at home.
All right, so I maybe I should take it back. Diaz is 4'6". Jota is 5'2". They're going to be at home. They're going to be much better script. Between those, I'm far more skeptical about Jota. I mean, Jota is like, he needs that opportunity to score. And if he doesn't score, you're looking at very low floor. We thought Diaz had a floor and then he didn't give it to us last week. So, I mean, altogether, I'd say you just got some really interesting decisions to make here. And then the last thing I'll flag is, as I think about it, if Bayern come out and they say, we're going to play hard for 60 minutes, right? 60, 65 minutes to make sure that we've kept our 3-goal cushion, and then we'll take the gas off the pedal. Kane is 7'8". He had a stellar game and they decided to drop his price. That's going to be really tempting. And then if they decide that this is a rare Gnabry game, he's 5'8". So you got a lot of really quality players who are really cheap. I imagine you're not tempted there, Ryan, but what do you think about it?
I didn't realize yet that Kane was 7'8". Yeah, that's pretty tempting, especially if Leverkusen come out and go for it. It should lead to some chances for Bayern. I don't know. I'm not too optimistic about this Leverkusen squad. So Bayern guys for cheap, they seem okay. Gnabry missed a penalty over the weekend. I think Coman's going to start. They're like the same price.
Yeah,
6K, 5.8. But yeah, good points. Barcola, we touted him last week. It's like the only PSG guy who didn't do anything. And then, over the weekend, another goal and another assist. Of course, right? So yeah, Barcola for 5.9. That looks all right. Might spend up twice if you play an Inter guy. I see Mehdi Taremi is only 5'6" if he starts for Lautaro, although it would probably be Arnautovic who started over the weekend and scored. Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say, Ryan? People tell me I don't flag plant enough on the pod, I'm going to say fade the Inter guys. They are priced up. I know it may not be that hot of a take, but I'm going to say fade them because they're priced up because, the odds are in their favor and so on. But they're already up 2-0, right? Fair enough that they might not come out, and play super defensive. But I can't recall the last time Inter smashed a team in the Champions League. I mean, it's got to have been months. Let me make sure I'm not going to eat that right away. Okay, Monaco 3-0. But really, all the other games, 3-1, 1-0, 1-0. I mean, it's a classic Italian Inter side, right? They play defensive. They play tight. They look for their chances. They're not going to barrage or anything. So at 9.6 for Lautaro, 8.9 for Arnautovic. How much did we say Thuram was? 7.6. I mean, the other prices on the slate are so tempting. I can't see Inter being the way to go.
I think that's a little bit of a hot take. I like it. I mean, I just, that people will see them with considerably the highest total here, 2.3 about. Yeah, I'd be interested if you have the same take when we get to midfield. We should, let's hop over to mid, I think. I mean, did we leave anything out here? I mean, let's see, Liverpool guys, the PSG guys we talked about. Bayern, Kane is cheap. Inter. I mean, I didn't bring up any Feyenoord guys. I don't really have interest there. Leverkusen guys, not much interest there. But I mean, they do need goals. I guess Feyenoord. I didn't see. Paixão is out.
I was going to say the injury list is insane. Paixão is out, as well as like half of their starting 11, right? So it's a bit messy.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I would say if I was going to shout out anyone, I did watch the Feyenoord game last week. I thought Haj Musa looked like a talented player, right?
Yeah.
I think he defers when Paixão is in the team. He defers a lot of play to Paixão, but he is talented. He already takes half the sets. Maybe with Paixão out, he might be in contention for all of them. He might also fight with Ivanišek, who I think is being drafted in given all the injuries. What do they have Ivanišek at for this slate? 4-6 forward. So tough play since he's basically a left midfielder. But Haj Musa is basically a right midfielder, and they have him playing forward as well. I would say that I have a little bit of interest in Haj Musa in tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Could have most of the sets. I've agreed. He's looked pretty good. I was just trying to see who's going to take the sets instead of Paixão, but it might be. My computer's like freezing on. Anyways, I was just, they started this Osman last time. I watched the first half of that game last time. He had 3 shots on goal in like 20 minutes. Yep. But yeah, I don't see him in projected. He might start. He's 3.6. Tough to have interest in these Feyenoord guys.
It says suspended. Oh, he is suspended. That's great.
Who?
Osman.
Oh, Osman. Okay, that's why.
I didn't realize he played much in the Champions League, but apparently he has, and so he's accumulated enough yellow cards to be suspended.
So they really don't have anybody. Yeah, that not bad shouts for the guys are cheap and should play 90 minutes, at least a couple of them. Haj Musa. Okay, midfield, we got Olise, 9K. Price came down. Oh, no, he was 8,800 last time. Okay, came down from a couple weeks ago. Çalhanoğlu, 82. I think that's going to be a popular click. Not without some risk, but he smashed over the weekend. Played 90 minutes against Mazda, put up 38, 12 corners, 15 crosses. I mean, taking pens. Like if he doesn't get subbed early, he's like a lock to be optimal. Really, the 60-minute sub is the only risk. Going down, Kimmich down to 6.8. Interested to hear your thoughts there. I think he'll be very popular with his price coming down. Got there last time. Gets there pretty much every time. Yeah, I think those will be the popular guys. Alex Garcia in the mid-range, 5,600. Let me bring Garcia up. He came in for Verts over the weekend. I think he's going to split the sets. Played 90 over the weekend, 12 crosses, 6 corners. 90 last time out, split the corners. Chances created. I mean, he's going to be their creative guy in the absence of Verts. So I think he's in play. Liverpool guys in there, McAllister, Szoboszlai. And then these Inter guys, I'll mention some. Barella's 3,600. If we're looking for a punt, Mkhitaryan's 4,200. PSG guys, Neves and Ruiz, mid 4Ks. I don't know. Did I leave anybody out? What do you think about midfield, Mo?
No, I think you're right. I mean, once again, they've made the pricing just almost too cheap here, right? I think it's a factor of how the odds came out. and, Liverpool and PSG not being projected as clear favorites in their matchup. But you've got some options here that are just really hard to avoid. I think you already mentioned for the PSG guys, you got 4-7 Neves, 4-4 Ruiz. All these guys have goal upside. Vitinha is, as usual, a little bit more expensive, 5-8, but again, with PKs, he's not really out of the question. The interesting question I have for you is this. So last week, we were big on Olise, right? We said that in Kimmich's absence, he's kind of taken all the sets. He's been creating opportunities, and the game logs have been stellar, right? And we thought Kimmich coming off injury might take a bit more of a back seat, might need some time to ramp up, might not be that great. And then the field, for the most part, went with Kimmich. And were it not for Olise's bailout assist on Kane's goal, they would have had me, and I think they would have had us all together because he just put in a workhorse performance. He put in the crosses, he had the chances created, he got about 15 points, or was it more? 19 points. Sorry, that's Olise. But he got 15 points, just floor, and Olise made it up to 19. And really, for most of that slate, I think he was around 17. So, what do you think with the revised prices? Is it definitely fade Olise given the script? Is it fade both? Is it take the security of Kimmich? Where are you leaning on that?
Yeah, it's tough. You broke it down well. I don't think the answer is to play both. I'll say that. I think, fading Olise based on the script makes a lot of sense. Like you said, he even needed the assist last time out to put up 19. I don't know what. Kimmich here, what I was going to say is, he took one corner in that match.
Yeah.
Does that mean he could have just smashed even harder if he took 5, or does that mean he ran pretty favorably? I remember, every cross hits somebody's head. 4 crosses, 4 chances created, gets a shot on target. I think he ran pretty well. The script doesn't favor him either, but the price does. Like you said, it's a soft price. So, for cash games, it can't be too bad. Might even be like if he's going to put up 13.6 again, you probably want him, right?
Yeah. I would say.
I don't think he's a lock by any means. None of these guys, especially with Çalhanoğlu there. How do you rank Çalhanoğlu to the Bayern guys? He's got to be ahead, I think. I guess the minutes are a concern. Him going 90 against Monza, he hasn't gone 90 forever. And then, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think it's right. Anytime you have a favored Inter matchup with DeMarco out and a not overpriced Çalhanoğlu, I think it's really hard to look elsewhere, right? So I think he's got to be really high up that list. And then you end up with just really difficult decisions, I think, because the Alex Garcia play that you flagged, that's not irrelevant either, right? The reality is, I don't watch Leverkusen all the time, but the way that they generally function, in my opinion, is they coalesce, aside from their play through the wings, they coalesce around a central playmaker in midfield, and that's usually Wirtz, but he's out, right? And they have Terrier as well, who's previously been involved in that kind of role. He's out. Hoffman has played that role for them. He's out, right? Even Shaka, who usually takes some possession of the midfield, really in a further back position, is questionable. But even if he plays, he's not really going to have much of an offensive role. And so at 5-6, for them chasing a game, you're going to have kind of the guy who's running the show. And as you can see in the game logs, when he's been given that freedom, it's often led to somewhere between, 10 to 20 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard fade, right?
It's a hard fade. I think so too. Yeah. I mean, can they do it against Bayern? I guess is the question. But yeah, you said here they're chasing the game. You put up 18 floor. You might even go 90. If they get an early goal, could really be, hard to argue with that. So I think you'll want.
On the flip side, let me ask you this, and this is maybe going to be one of those things where we're just going to get too deep and we just gotta not get too sucked in. But given that Verts is out several weeks, and this game is pretty much lost, pretty close to the 60-minute. What are the chances that maybe Xabi Alonso says, all right, we tried.
It's time to bring Emi Buendia in.
I was gonna say we tried for 60 minutes, right? I let Garcia cook. Let me save him for the league where my job is still on the line and we got to do a good job here.
Very possible. Yeah, especially if Bayern are up 1-0 at the half, I mean, it just might be over right then. Take all the best, most important players out. Yeah, could go either way. So yeah, got all those set piece mids. Probably going to want two of them, and then some cheaper punts. Barella 3600 is kind of interesting. Yeah, those PSG guys. I think that's it. Okay, on to defender. DeMarco out. Hakimi 6,400. Faded him last time, and it was a mistake. And fortunately, it didn't cost us too bad, I remember, but it could have. 11.4 was like the least he was going to score in that game. So yeah, 6,400 away to Liverpool. I don't know. I think he's the best play. Hopefully people will convince themselves otherwise. After that, Alexander-Arnold, who crushed over the weekend with sets, but I think we'll have McAllister back starting here. Can't really count on sets there. Grimaldo, 55. Was the most popular defender on the last slate. Scored 2.5 points, but it's got to be in consideration here. Maybe a better play than Hakimi, point per dollar, depending on how that game goes. 5,500, a little bit of a discount. Dumfries right there, same price. Bastoni on the left wing, probably not. Mendes 48. What did Mendes do last time? He did okay, huh? 6.10. Has got a little discount now on Mendes. The other thing about the PSG Liverpool game, it could go to extra time, very easily. So I have that in consideration. Andy Robertson is only 3,700. I believe we both faded him last time out. He put up 3 points with his clean sheet, so 0.6 floor plus his clean sheet. But now all the way down to 3,700, just absolutely wild price for Robertson. Can't be too bad for that price. I mean, come on. What do you think about defender, Mo?
Yeah, I think you captured kind of the gist of it. I mean, the good thing about all the cheap pricing at forward and midfield is that if you want to pay up at defender, that's definitely going to be available to you. The question is just where do you go, right? And I think you rightly noted that there's going to be a lot of reasons to rule out Robertson, right? Whether it's the sub risk, whether it's the fact that he's playing ultra defensive, whether it's the fact that Liverpool are going to try to hold on to the lead for at least a portion of this game, unless they just get blitzed early on. But then you've got a difficult decision to make about what you want to do about the other three, right? Because we were sure that Arnold was a fade over the weekend, and then he just absolutely lit it up, right? And again, I suspect he's going to be told to be disciplined here and so on, but we know the ceiling is there. Hakimi, I agree, is the most comfortable play. From the get-go, he's going to be told, press up, attack, and we've seen that in the Champions League, you're talking almost a minimum 11 floor, right? At that price, very tempting. But then you got some difficult decisions to decide what to do with the other spot, if that's what you do with your first spot. Because Mendes, we've previously flagged that he gets set and gets involved that way. Against Liverpool last week, I don't think he got sets, but he still ended up with 11 points. So he just gets there. He's one of these guys who, going all the way back to the Euros for Portugal, where he played left center back, he still was getting there, right? Because the reality is he's a powerful runner. He'll put in crosses. He'll put in tackles. He'll draw fouls. He's not Hakimi playing like, crosses in the box nonstop, but he is very good at attacking. And so at 4.8, he's going to be very tempting. I do want to revisit one thing, and I take your point on Grimaldo. I mean, I think that was another guy that we all shouted out and then completely flopped. That'll be a difficult decision as well. But I wanted to ask, if you decide that this Inter matchup is something you want to invest in, but not at the forward spot, and maybe, you start with Çalhanoğlu. You've got Bastoni and Dumfries as the wingers here, right? I think in the first leg, Bastoni gave you 14 and Dumfries gave you 11. That's what I have in my, okay, the numbers are different here, but basically, so it says here Dumfries gave you 15 and a half. Bastoni on the app says 14, but maybe on our website we're not including the clean sheet. Either way, sorry, you're muted. Oh, it says 14. I was just looking at the. You're still muted, Ron.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. Bastoni. Yeah, Bastoni had 14 in that game, and then 11 over the weekend again. Dumfries had 8 against Feyenoord, and then 15 over the weekend with an assist.
Got it. Okay, so that's what I'm missing. So,
yeah,
I think that the prices are going to be. So again, this is what I'm talking about. We don't count the clean sheet. On the app, the Dumfries total is 11 because I think he got the clean sheet.
Right. Yeah, good point.
So what I was saying is, it's not the most exciting play, right? But at the same time, it seems like when Dumfries gets an assist, he ends up somewhere between 14 to 20. And even when he doesn't, he gives you a good floor. And we know that the clean sheet odds are favorable, but more than that, we know that this is how Inter play for the most part. They like very much to attack through their width. The way they scored their first goal, I think, was a cross from either it's Barella. It was a cross from Barella out wide to Thuram, right? It's just how they play, right? And maybe Çalhanoğlu will put in those crosses and not Dumfries or Bastoni. But it is tempting. Do you agree with that, or you think just given the other opportunities on
the slate? No. I agree 100%. Yeah, love the Inter guys. Yeah, you're going to see some Inter guys in my lineups for sure. I mean, look at Dumfries here, multiple shots, most every game, 6 goals on the season. I mean, he's so far forward. Bastoni, if I knew like Bastoni was playing 90, I'd love him. I still like him because he's shown it here, but I think they had somebody come back, Carlos Augusto, who may steal some minutes. But yeah, I like both the Inter guys.
But one thing I'd say for Bastoni is that even if
maybe you shouldn't even be worried, because somebody can come on and they'll just move him to like the back three or something.
Exactly. If someone comes on, they're likely to sub a Pavard, a Serbi, or De Vries. They're 35-year-old center backs. And just move him back. Obviously, that means less ceiling, but he's going to keep racking it up.
Yeah, nice. We're on the same page there. Any punts below Robertson? You think there's a need to punt? I mean, there could be, depending on who you're going to spend for. I didn't really look.
How expensive is Van Dijk on the slate?
Yeah, Van Dijk is 2,700.
Yep.
Other than that, I'm not real sure who you'd consider. It's just random center back at that point.
You could see. I'm gonna shout out my boy Eric Dyer. You could see him get a spot start, given that this game is pretty much out of reach, and they may not need their starting 11. I always remember that one slate. I think it was like ages ago. I think it was a Spurs game, but I remember Eric Dyer like stepping up for the free kick, and so in my mind, I have this like mental note that's like Eric Dyer set piece equity.
I remember that. I do remember that.
So can't say I recommend any of these, but there are some.
Okay. Goalkeeper here. What do we got? Clean sheet odds. Inter about 50% clean sheet odds. It's not bad if you can afford it. After that, then it's just about like picking the script, like who's in the smash script for tomorrow. Definitely Allison again, just like it was in the first leg. Now they're defending a lead. What did he do last time? We got 28. So Allison is going to face shots. The Bayern keeper, you'd think, if Leverkusen can muster them. I had never heard of this guy, Jonas Erbig. I mean, that Neuer injury was the most brutal shit I've ever seen in the last week. I mean, I was never going to play Neuer. I never play Neuer. And all of a sudden, I see Leverkusen with the funniest lineup, like 6 defenders and no striker. I just didn't see them scoring and played Neuer. And but anyways, this Erbig guy is going to start, I think, for 4,400. Same price as Donnarumma. And then the Feyenoord guy, Wellenreuther, if you really want. What do you think about keeper, Mo?
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Erbig name, I was thinking of your tilt for Neuer, just cruising, and then Neuer. It was weird too, because I mean, I'm sure he's actually injured, but in the game, it was just like, I'm done. It's a wrap.
It's funny. That was just. I just couldn't believe it. It's funny too because the decision was like him or Szczesny, and the difference in points turned out to be 26 or something. Szczesny dropped 28 as well.
Unreal.
Anyway,
unreal. Yeah. So I think Allison will be tempting. I do. It's probably worth noting. I think just the inherent risk of goalkeeper here. Like I think against Southampton, he ended up fine. He ended up with 9.5 points. But I remember everyone jamming him because, it was like he just put in this all-world performance, and then he like immediately concedes the first goal to Southampton, right? So it's always
also it's only a 1-goal lead. So if we get an early goal from PSG, I mean, that script might stop. It might turn into a cagey neutral game. Liverpool might start going for it. So yeah.
So I think that's worth flagging. I as painful as it is to say, I do like the Bayern keeper play depending on what lineup we get. I mean, last week we got Amin Adli, I think, starting at striker. And he's just not a striker. He's an attacking midfielder, and attacking is probably generous. He attacks, but like he's more of a hold-up player. If we don't see Patrick Schick for whatever reason, which I'm sure we will, but if we don't, then I would have some temptation. If we do see a more classic attacking lineup, I may be inclined to go elsewhere. I mean, I think that would be it. Donnarumma looked. I forgot. There was like it was the goal, right, on the Harvey Elliott goal, right? Like he just should have done better, right? And so this is my bias, but he's just one of those guys who it feels like in the big moments doesn't come up big, right? Opposite of Allison. So I like the shout of Allison. I like considering Erbig depending on how weak the Leverkusen lineup is, and then. I mean, the Inter argument makes itself, right? I mean, the injury list is 15 or so players. This is a, demoralized team for the most part, excluding DeMarco. I would say that Inter has its starting 11 fit. So you could just pay up at keeper and maybe just ride out a clean sheet and a couple saves.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah, there's enough value for it. Besides DeMarco, they might even be better defensively without DeMarco. So it's a good 50% clean sheet spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony there.
we often make fun of clean sheet odds, but at the same time, I mean, that's 24 points more, 24 and a half points more than the next highest clean sheet. And the price difference you're looking at is 800. So
right. Yeah.
definitely
There's like a very good chance that Inter are the only team to keep a clean sheet. So don't mind spending up if you have the money. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything else, Mo? I think we talked about pretty much every spot, every player.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an interesting slate, given just all of these really close choices, right? Because whoever ends up bagging that like random assist or goal, you're going to be like, it was always Barella. It was always Neves, But otherwise, you can go in a lot of different directions here and make it work.
For sure. Awesome. Thanks to Mo. RotoWire.com/soccer trial. Again, wait till the very end before we plug it. Get in the Discord, free trial, cheat sheets, all the stats, everything. It really helps for all the slates. Mo and I, or at least me, hopefully Mo, will be back at some time tomorrow to talk about Wednesday's slate. But yeah, until then, good luck, everybody. Thanks, Mo. See you tomorrow.
Good luck, y'all.